Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramona, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast. Steve, Ramona.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona, and I am fired up that you're here today because you're going to be blown away. This is my sister from another mother. You'll learn that later. You guys, a lot of you know my story. Well, she's done that probably even farther than me, how powerful this networking and serving can be. We dedicate this podcast exploring the idea with your work and your life of having that servant's heart, having the purpose to impact and change people's lives. We're going to talk a lot about that today. Also, like today's guest, we're going to motivate you, inspire, and educate you to do different things to impact your world again. You can see the ongoing theme here: impact, change, difference. Well, here's your call to action homework, I call it, audience, which I've not made podcasts I've heard do that, but here nor there. I want you to think about how you're going to serve yourself, because you got to serve yourself first and others today, and what impact you'll create today. Keyword today. Let's not wait. Let's start making that impact right away. And today's episode is sponsored by Pantheon Alliance. Imagine joining a community of high-income entrepreneurs and business leaders to create a world-changing thought leader platform to make that impact and change in the world. For more information on Pantheon, just reach out to me and I'll get you all the information you need. With that being said, I'm going to welcome my guest today, Toni Harris Taylor. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Steve. I'm excited to be here. Appreciate the opportunity from one connector to the other.
Amen to that. Your moniker, probably the wrong word, but what people are known for is the networking queen.
Yes.
Why are you the queen of networking?
You know, my clients gave me that moniker, and I do call it a moniker, so you're absolutely right. I didn't think the world needed another queen, but my clients were like, you are the networking queen. No one networks like you. And then they added the coach that connects as well. And so when your clients tell you who they see you are, who am I to argue?
Yeah, and I love that, because what comes to my mind is watching Shark Tank last night, and these guys were talking about our customers said they're looking for this product. And that's big in business. If your customers say, hey, you're missing this, or can you develop this? You've done that from the coaching aspect. Talk about that.
Yeah. So the thing that's missing for a lot of my coaching clients, number one, my coaching brand is drastic results, drastic. As you can see, the word over my head, the word on the shelf, and on my license plate. Most entrepreneurs, you know this, Steve, they love what they do. They just don't want to market it or sell it. They want to post something, they want to pass out a business card, and they expect the world to open up. And it's just not the way it works. And so the thing that most entrepreneurs are missing are networking skills. It's a learned skill. And even though they go to events and they pass out a bunch of business cards, yet usually and rarely nothing happens beyond the business card. So I saw the hole in that market for especially service-based entrepreneurs to show up, be up, follow up, to blow up their business. And that's how my coaching business was born.
And that's the name of your book too, right?
It is.
Say that again.
And it's the name of my coaching program. So here's the book: Show Up, Be Up, Follow Up, to Blow Up. And the picture on the cover is me looking at a bunch of business cards like, what am I supposed to do with these things? But it's also a coaching program as well.
Yeah. And I love a lot of ups there. What I'm reading from an audience is you probably get, we all want to be up. We're up in revenue, up in joy, up in happiness, up in more people in our life, whatever. Is that kind of your message or inspiration with the book? And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Who wants to somebody who don't have good energy? You know, the number one compliment I get in the world is, I love your energy. Well, the truth is, if you love what you do, everybody should be walking around high energy, up about what they do, who they serve, the difference they make in the world, and then helping other people. So, absolutely. And if you're not up about what you do, find something else to do.
yeah, yeah. I love
Because
the energy.
it only will drag you down. And entrepreneurship's hard. So if you don't have joy around it, you're not going to survive.
Yeah.
And you got to figure out how to create joy. And part of my joy, which I love the name of your podcast, and part of my joy is helping other people find joy. I get so excited in that.
And we're going to do real time connecting here on my podcast. And I love doing
Okay.
that. I just had a podcast guest, Suzanne Cusano, who's the joyful optimist. And I'm going to connect you with her. And that's what we do, audience. We listen. And I want to talk about, and I'm going to connect you with her because she talks about joy being the top of. You can have happiness, you can feel good, but joy's that top. When you have joy like you do, you can see it. You're on the top of the Empire State Building, looking down, going, "Come join me."
That's
Come
right.
bring it up.
Exactly.
And
So I
talk
can't
about,
wait to meet her.
yeah, no, it's going to be. I'd love to be a fly on that wall. Talk about. We talked about for the show situation about networking and judging. Talk about judging when it comes to networking.
Yeah. And the reason, and I'm going to be transparent, the reason we talked about is because I connected you with someone I thought could benefit from a connection with you. And his response in the email was, "So why are we talking again? Why should I meet with you?" I mean, he didn't say that directly, but that was the gist. Um, and to me, when someone takes the time to think enough of you, because I didn't have to think of him, I had only met him one time, to think enough of you to take their time to craft an email, to make an introduction, or in our case, a video. I love the way we do that. Craft a video to make a connection, and then you question it. How rude. And so I just it blew my mind. And for me, I didn't respond, but I was just like, it's his loss. It's his loss.
Yep.
And then instead of being grateful and saying, "Tony, thank you for even thinking of me because we only met one time. There must be a reason I need to meet this dude," he wanted to question it. And according to your good news, definitely his loss.
Yeah. And I'm glad you called me dude. I love when people call me dude. You call me dude all day. Um, so I get asked this, and I'd love to hear the answer. What do you do when that happens? It's just not a good interaction. Do you
Sure.
just not introduce them anymore with not fear, but thinking they're not going to be beneficial? Or do you give them a couple of chances?
It just depends on who it is.
Yeah. Okay.
If I really care enough, I could get, like I said, this particular guy I met one time. I don't really know him that well, but I knew he was in the energy space. And so if so I may never introduce him again, and I may
Yeah.
never reach out to him. But if it's somebody that I genuinely care about their business, I care about their life, they're my client. If he was my client, I would have called him and coached him in that. And so I help those who I feel like want to be helped.
Yeah. And that's perfect. I love your answer too. It depends person to person. And that's how we should live our business and our life. Don't blanket statement. Somebody does one thing, they don't show up to a meeting going, "I'm never talking to Joe Smith again because he didn't show
Correct.
up." We don't know what
Correct.
happened. You know,
Correct.
10 million things could have happened. So I love that. I love what you do. Your energy is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, franchising, I'm thinking, what a combination, networking and franchising. Am I correct? Is that kind of a nice, I know you consult, talk about that.
Yeah. So I entered franchising 5 years ago when I purchased my Network in Action franchise. So to be able to marry my gift of networking and connecting people to a money making opportunity within franchising was definitely a gift for me. And so I'm a franchisee. I bring business owners together to create connections, collaborations, community, get some coaching so we can make more cash together. And as a result of the franchise coming into my life, which was a connection from someone in my network, I now am very, um, let's see, I call myself an advocate for franchising in the multicultural space. And so I want to help more women, more people of color, more cultures like veterans and healthcare workers and teachers know that franchising is an opportunity for them, because I didn't know. And I was on a community group today, and they said, "What do you wish you knew when you first started your business that you know now?" And I said, absolutely. I wish that someone had introduced me to franchising 30 years ago.
That's a powerful message. What's the journey look like? Gentleman comes in and reaches out to you and says, I'm interested in franchising. How do you walk them through that journey to find a
Yeah.
franchise? Or is it even a
Yes.
fit? Because it's not a fit for everybody, right?
It's not a fit. So we do a discovery conversation. What are
Okay.
you looking for? What are you trying to, what kind of business do you want to get into? How much money do you have? And then I have a portfolio over 800 franchise brands that I can then go and match make them to. And then I have some outside the portfolio that I just have relationships with that I can introduce them to as well. Once they say, yes, Toni, I'm interested in brand one, brand two, I'll make a connection from that person to the franchisor brand, and then they take it from there. And when the person buys a franchise, I make a commission because I was the connector.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. What excites you so much about franchising? One or two things.
It's the best kept secret out there. So there's
Wow.
plenty of room for growth. That excites me. The other thing that excites me is it's a model that's already been proven. And like when I bought my Network in Action, I was talking to a friend of mine who was a coach, money mindset coach, and she asked me, "How can you make money connecting people?" And I was like, "I don't know." I literally, I was like, "I don't know. I wouldn't be talking to you if I knew." And then I thought, maybe I should start my own networking group. She said, "Why don't you?" I said, "Absolutely not. I've seen too many people run networking groups not make any money. I don't know what to charge. I don't know how to run a meeting. I don't have technology, pull it together. I don't want to start from scratch." She said, "Don't worry about the how, it will show up." The next week, Network in Action came into my life. Don't tell me God wasn't listening. Network
Amen.
in Action came into my life. Everything I'd said the week before, the system already had. I signed my contract on a Friday, sold my first membership on a Monday, and today I'm the first, the fastest to launch in the US from signing because I had a system that I could just plug and play. So that back to your question, what excites me is introducing systems to entrepreneurs who don't want to start from scratch.
And I love that you're living the franchise life. You are
I am.
your actions are what you're speaking. You're not like, hey, I love franchise, but hey, good luck to you. You live it. So that's
I
beautiful. I
live it.
love that.
I love it too.
Talk about networking action. People might be interested. I talked a lot. I know a lot of people listening I've talked to because they want to network more. Talk about what
Yeah.
you're doing there.
Yeah. So Network in Action is an organization, again, that brings business owners together to build connections, community, collaborations, get some coaching, so they can make more cash together. So it's a cross between networking and mastermind. Okay. And so one of the things I love about Network and Action specifically is it's home based. So who knew franchising was home based? I thought they were all storefronts. So it's home based. You can run in person meetings or virtual meetings or any combination of the two. It's a six-figure business model for a $35,000 investment when you get 20 members in three groups, so a total of 60 paid members. That's more than $100,000.
60 people.
So
You said 60?
60 people, 60.
Wow.
60 people, but you're making money a lot, all the, so you start with one group, you get it to 20, then you start the second group and you start the third group. But I made six figures within a year and a half, and 6 months after I signed my contract, COVID hit, which was a gift for me because it was all in-person networking, and actually I'm a virtual networker. So I was able to bring my clients on, my members online, teach them how to network virtually. It opened up the world to them. They did not know that they could do business across Zoom.
Yeah.
And so so for $35,000, you can buy into a system. We have hundreds of agendas. The franchisor tells us the minimum we can charge. We don't have to wrestle with branding. And then within the brand, I created my own brand, which is Toni Harris Taylor, the networking queen. And then one more thing is what I didn't say in that quick story is I was actually, when I talked to that coach and she said, why don't you start a networking group? I was waiting for 2 job offers to come through. I was about to hang it all up and go get a job. And like I said, God said, girl, please, here, take this network in action. And what's really key about that too, Steve, I did not have the $35,000. I was waiting for jobs to come through. The franchisor was small enough and liked me, gave me an opportunity. He took $3,000 down and put me on a monthly note. You don't even know. Franchising is small business, so the franchisors can be small enough to make those decisions. And he still says that was one of the best decisions he made.
Oh, I was going to say, what a servant's heart. The ROI
what
for
a
him.
Servant's heart.
What's his name? Let's do a shout out to this gentleman.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Scott Halley.
Scott Halley, shout out to you as a servant's heart. And you've said gifts like 3 times already. But you're getting gifts because you put out gifts. Talk about that, because I love that about you.
Yeah. So one of the things why Network in Action was so perfect for me and the moniker the networking queen is because I give before I receive. Givers do gain. And so, but I had learned that from a networking coach 20 years ago. She taught me just always look for the opportunity to help somebody else. Look for the opportunity to help somebody else. Somebody else will help you. So I had been giving for several years before NIA came into my life. If you're not operating your business with a giving spirit, how can you expect to receive? The word says there's more happiness in giving than in receiving. And yes, I'm happy when I receive, very happy. But I also know I receive a lot because I give a lot. It's the law of reciprocity.
Amen.
And the more you give, the more you will receive.
Yeah. And it's been proven for hundreds of years. Me and you aren't developing it today. It's been around it's one of those universe things where people I don't see it, touch, or feel it. So is it really real? And that's something we got to be careful of. We're coming to the end here, but you've mentioned this a couple of times. No, we're going to bring you back. Yeah, audience, I put myself out there. She's coming back. We're going to do part 2, series 2. Personal branding. You've talked about yourself, ToniHarrisTaylor.com and drastic results. How important is the personal branding when it comes to connecting?
Oh, it's very important. And one of the things I coach my clients on is what makes you unique. And because most of the clients I coach are coaches. They're real estate agents, insurance agents, financial. Y'all, that ain't unique. So your personal, what do you stand for? And be willing to share it. I think sometimes in modesty is important and humbleness is important, but sometimes we're so humble to the point that we can't even articulate what makes us unique. And if you can't, then they're going to go with the person that is unique. So figuring out your personal brand, and I believe everybody needs a personal brand inside of their corporate brand, because people do business with us because they know us, like us, and trust us. Then the franchise brand, then the corporate brand, but they really are doing business with us as individuals. So your personal brand should shout from the rooftops who you are, what you stand for.
Audience, what she just said in 2 to 3 minutes is $1 million tip. Seriously, $1 million. Listen to that over and over if you have to. Reach out to her and we'll get her contact information. We're going to end with a fun question, but I've got to say this: a franchise is what I love. When I first met you, it's business in a box.
Business in a box.
Per se, you come in, it's
Yes.
already, NIA's been around for a while, or whatever you bring people to, they've been around for a while. So you just come in and plug and play, and away you go. And now you're an entrepreneur.
Let's emphasize, you still got to work. So you still
Yes.
got to do, you got to play. You got to dribble the ball. You got to shoot the ball. Do not expect the franchisor to do it for you. And a lot of franchisors are hiring me now to come in and teach networking to their franchisees because they expect the franchisor to do it for them. Franchising is not that. It just allows you to take the ball right away and hit the ground running.
See, that's why she's a rock star, and corrected the host. And I agree with her. It's like getting a playbook in sports. You got the playbook, but if you don't follow the playbook, you have no more franchise. And franchises die a lot of times because of that.
They can die. They can fail. So
it's like anything else.
Follow the playbook and you will win.
Yeah, this is awesome. Well, let's end with a fun question. And you're fun, so you're going to love this. I can't wait to hear the answer. So I've gone out and reserved a restaurant for you, table of 4. Obviously, you're going to sit in one of the chairs. In the 3 empty chairs, who would you invite, whether they're dead or alive, and what food would you order?
You should have set me up with this. Pre-planned answer.
No, I love seeing your mind going crazy right now. I love it.
Who would I invite? Good question. All right. So I'm not into the whole idolizing celebrities and things like that. I like real world people. So Steve, I might put you in a chair.
God bless you.
I would put my mother, and for those of you go to YouTube, we have From Uber to Africa. I drove Uber for half a day. So go look at that documentary and you'll meet my mother. But she's been my best cheerleader, my biggest inspiration. I believe I would put, and this name keeps hitting my head, Ray Titus. Ray Titus of Titus United Franchise Group. Recently had the opportunity to hear him speak. His story is incredible. He's shrewd, and I could learn a lot from him. And then one of them $100 million people that you just talked about, I'd like to have them at my table. Bring your guests with you.
Amen. I'll bring one of those. And it's amazing listening and talking to people like that. I've been lucky to experience, and their mindset's completely different, but most of them are serving hearts because now they have abundance to serve, and you're successful. So you're serving every day. It's 7-day-a-week job for you. And it's not even a job. I don't know. I can't even think of opportunity, I guess.
Opportunity,
you smile every time you get up, doing great things. What a great podcast. Oh, man, we're blessed. The audience was blessed. I know people listening are going, I got to talk to Toni. How can they reach out to you?
You can go to ToniHarrisTaylor.com or DrasticResults.com. They take you to the same spot. Find me on LinkedIn, Toni Harris Taylor. Message me on LinkedIn. That's the best way to reach me. And I respond to everybody. And if you want to hop on my calendar, meet with ToniHarrisTaylor.com. And Tony's with an I.
And the book name, and where can we find the book?
Show up, be up, follow up, follow up, follow up to blow up. And you can get it from showuptoblowup.com. That'll take you to the Amazon page and you can order it right there. Showuptoblowup.com.
You know, I just wanted you to say I wanted you to say the book, but I just wanted to hear it. That was a selfish question, Arnie. It's just being very honest because I love the way you say it. Thank you again, Toni. We will bring you back. That we're so much aligned. And this is a message that a lot of people need to hear, especially now that we're out and about doing our things because COVID's gone and we're more virtual and all that. But audience, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And this show is a perfect reason why. I think podcasts are gifts. You listen to Toni and you go, man, my friend's been talking about a franchise. I got to have him, give him the link and go, hey, listen to Toni. I think she can help you. Well, she said it earlier so well about they buy through us. They got to like us first. But what a way for somebody to go, I really like Toni. Well, they go to drasticresults.com and they, guess what, sign up. And then they maybe hire her. They become her client.
Correct.
And she changes their lives. Well, it falls back on the person that gave that gift of the link. And that's what I say at the start here. The monologue, impact and difference. So use these podcast links because when they pop up, you get a link, you watch it and go, I know somebody can use this. What a great way to connect with somebody as well. So with that being said, me and Toni want to thank you all for watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Take care, everyone.